Hey, what's up everybody? Rob Marzullo here from Ram Studio Comics. Welcome back. And today's video is actually a response to a video request by comicartdepot.com. They do a lot to help promote the channel here, so I wanted to answer back their video request, which was, how do I stay motivated and inspired to create art? So let me address that. So my response to that is going to be a little bit typical, I guess. But I want to be honest, and this isn't my honesty, so here it is. I'm inspired. I'll start with inspiration. I'm inspired by a few things. Comics being the biggest one. I can look at comics today and become inspired by the work that's created. I can mostly regain inspiration from the memories of what got me into drawing comics. And one of the things was when I was younger, I went to a comic book store and picked up one of my first comics. I'd looked at comics, but I wasn't real into them. But then I picked up Spider-Man #1 by Todd McFarlane and was just in pure amazement. The way he depicted the storytelling and the almost kind of edgy gruesomeness. I don't know what. It was just a different depiction of Spider-Man that I had seen up until that point. So basically, that was the thing that got me wanting to draw comics. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a comic book artist. I'm going to draw comics. Uh, Something really motivated me to see that art could be so, cool in that way that it was created. So that's what I wanted to use my art for. I'd always been an artist ever since I can remember. Just never really had any direction to think that I would do it for a living until then. So that's one of the inspirations, and I can basically look back at that, and I can gain, a bit of motivation or inspiration from that, reminiscing from that era in my life. And it was like, I couldn't get enough. I started grabbing up all the great comics of that time, which obviously was a lot of guys that were just doing some amazing work at that time. So there's a lot of eye candy to draw from. Still is, obviously. So, that's what first got me going. Now, what the other things that I use, the other devices on a daily basis to get inspired and want to create, um, because we all have those times when we go to create and we're just not that enthused. We can, if you train for long enough as an artist, you'll be able to draw good artwork regardless. And maybe some of the times, everybody will still love your work, but you'll know that it wasn't your best, that you weren't inspired to do something exceptional that day or week or whatever. So to get rid of those mental barriers, those mental blocks that we face as artists, or artist block, whatever you want to call it, one of the things that I do is I go to movies and the dynamics of the composition, the effects, 3D effects, all the things they put into it, the way they shoot the actors from just a variety of camera angles and things like that. All of that is so interesting to me that if it's a really good movie with a great storyline, I can barely get through it before I'm wanting to draw something. So that's another one for me. I can go to movies and I can gain that inspiration that way. Like I said, these are very typical, but it's the truth. So the other one would be music. If I put in some good music that really gets me jacked, gets me pumped, whatever, then that music will help me draw. Like I don't know that it makes me draw better, but it keeps me in the zone, of creating. So I'll put in, and I'm sure we all work this way. You're drawing, your best drawings are probably when you got some headphones on or something. So that's the other thing that I use, and I use music daily, unless it's something I can't, where I'm dealing with a client or something like that. And there's some back and forth stuff going on. But when I get down to just creating, I envelop myself in that process by listening to music. So those are my inspiration type things. And the list could go on and on and on. I also get inspired when I travel, when I go to new places. I always come back with ideas. So there's just a number of things that can do that. Um, and as far as motivation, and I'm sure any parent can attest to this, nothing is more motivating than family and a child. Like, I recently became a father a couple years ago. It's going on 2 years, pretty quick here. And yeah, I'm sorry. Nothing, hands down, the most motivating factor is knowing that a little child is relying on you. So, and that's an awesome thing. I mean, it's the greatest blessing in the world. Um, but that's when I think of motivation. Now, it's the first thing that comes to mind. Now, if you would have asked me a few years ago what I did to become motivated, I would have said motivated by the progression of my work. would probably be the big one. Um, Unfortunately, another motivation is financial security, but as far as the one that seems less, you know, impure or something, would be the motivation of the progression of the work. So I'm extremely motivated and maybe even inspired as well by looking at my old work that I think is just absolutely horrible. And somehow somebody said I was good and I believed it. I don't know why, because looking back, I'm like, it's some bad stuff. I don't want nobody to see that. Put that under the bed. Nobody, many of them need to see that right there. Um, but it must have showed some kind of sign of being creative and artistic, and people are like, "Go with it. You've got some talent there," and I believed them. And I was, but I guess then you're feeling the passion for what you're doing. Um, but looking back at it, you can see how far you've come, and there's a neat little appreciation of that occurs that I'm always excited to see how far I can take it. How good can I get next year? What can I learn about my work and improve upon? So that's motivating for me as well. So yeah, so there it is in a nutshell. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Be sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and more on the way real soon. So I thank you for stopping by, and keep drawing, keep having fun, and bye for now.